In today's video, I'll be sharing with you some tips and different methods to remove your caulking. There's two methods that are often used I don't generally approve of for myself. So here we have just a flathead screwdriver and a chisel. And a lot of times what happens is guys don't have the proper tools and they're using their screwdriver to remove the caulking. Sometimes you'll see guys using a chisel as well to remove the caulking. I don't particularly like using a screwdriver or a chisel is because the chances of you slipping and cutting yourself are much more higher. We have a scraper. Here I have my multi-tool, battery operated. It doesn't matter which brand, as long as you're able to purchase a scraper bit right here and put it on your multi-tool, that should suffice. This method is beneficial if you're trying to minimize any extra effort and exerting your energy. This works well also when you're dealing with the cheap, or what I like to call the hard plaster caulking. This is nice and soft, so I can kind of bend it, but a lot of times you'll deal with caulking that's very hard and tough and abrasive, and it literally you'll have to cut pieces off at a time. See here, just using the multi-tool, just how easy and beneficial it is in removing the caulking. These are the different methods that you can use. Obviously, whatever you use is dependent on your circumstance and situation. I'm going to read in the comments is regarding the scraper being too abrasive for the tub. That's not going to be an issue. The difference between this and my manual scraper is this one uses just quick vibration, where this one's just more blunt force. But I've never had an issue as far as the scraper or the multi-tool being too abrasive in scraping the tub. Before you put on your new caulking, you're going to want to use some type of cleaner to spray along the edges and to wipe down to remove some of this discoloration due to mildew. I'm just using a cleaning agent that has some bleach in it. Basically, we're just giving it a nice scrub. Also use some type of brush that has like abrasive bristles. And you can also use that to scrub the corners as well. Once you remove your old caulking and you clean up the base of your tub where we're going to put the new caulking, make sure you allow it to dry properly. For this job, we have just a regular wet rag and we have a tube of caulking. To caulking properly is just using your finger. So basically what you'll do is you'll put the caulk just enough to squeeze inside of the center, and then you're going to take your finger and you're going to gently wipe down across, and then use your rag to kind of clean your finger and repeat the process. My wet rag that I'll be wiping my finger on, you can see here, depending on how thick the bead is going to be needed, here you can see I cut the tip pretty wide because I have a lot to fill in, If it's something like this in this corner, you'll see that it's pretty much not going to need as much caulking. You can just cut it just slightly, not so much. And if it's like that all the way, you can do that process. But right here, generally around the whole base, you can see it's open. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to squeeze slightly. I'm not going to put too much pressure. And you can see as it's getting thinner, I'm applying less and less pressure. Now with my finger, I'm simply just going to work it all the way through. And as I start to get extra caulking on my finger, what I'll do is I'll wipe it on my rag. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my rag and I'm simply going to work it around the base. And I'm just going to keep flipping my cloth so it doesn't get too messy. You're basically going to follow this procedure all the way around your tub. There are a lot of different methods on YouTube showing you how to do the caulking, but I just think it's just easier if you just keep it nice and simple. Make sure you cut the tube properly. Make sure you have a rag. Just work your finger all the way around. Keep wiping your finger, and that should suffice. If this video was a help, if it was informational, please subscribe.